This gentleman is an icon of British television. Will you please give it up for Sir David Jason? Let me hear you. The plot, people.
Thank you.
Set yourself down. What a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure. What a very nice welcome. Lovely audience you've got here today, Paul.
Oh, they're not bad, honestly. I mean, they're OK. This is the best of a bad lot. They only come in for a warm, seriously, and then they moan. No, they're sweethearts. I always have a great audience. I'm really lucky. I really am. I tell you what, I've thoroughly enjoyed this book.
Bless you. Thank you.
And I tell you why, because I have a lot of very, very, very young guests who come on here who've written an autobiography.
Oh, right.
And they're virtually embryos, some of them. They're so... But you've waited a while, haven't you, to write this?
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right there, that people tend to want to write their autobiography, if you like, because I suppose they get encouraged because there's some sort of financial reward.
That's right.
Well, what happened to me was that I was never interested in writing about my career, about my life, because I was too interested in doing it.
Yeah.
And over the years, what happened eventually, I'll just tell you this quickly, is that they came to me because I'd had a couple of biographies written about me, which I didn't agree to. But anyway, they said to me, look, if you don't write your autobiography, it's about time you did, then someone else will. And I thought, oh, not again. You know, that time I had my say.
Yeah.
So I then applied myself and thought, OK, maybe, as you pointed out, that I've done quite a lot of lovely and interesting work.
You're telling me.
And to me, really, it was the journey.
Yeah.
It's the journey, not the arrival.
Fine.
And I've had so much fun in my journey, and I decided, I suppose, I better put a bit of it down. Only you're not in it. Yes, I thought...
Story of my life.
Said you don't need the publicity, I thought.
And yet our paths have crossed, because on the North Pier we passed. And then when you were filming that time in South Kent in the year 1, whenever that was, I mean, that was a long time ago as well.
We were at Blackpool on tour, and we went up the pier to have a look, see what was going on at Blackpool. And as we were coming off the pier, this friend of mine who I was working with said, that's him. That is him. I said, who? Him. Who does that woman show at the end of the pier. So I went, oh, wait a minute. I turned round like that. All I could see was this very ordinary man with a big bag just strolling up the pier like this. And I thought, how did you... I can't see anybody famous. He doesn't impress me very much. And that was him.
Yeah. You're partly responsible for why I'm here, because I was talking to the audience before. Do Not Adjust Your Set was one of the most wonderful children's programmes ever, because it was sheer anarchy. From the minute the credits rolled, it was just wonderful. Open all hours. Now, was this the show that brought you to prominence?
Yes.
With TV viewers, anyway.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. The reason was that, without going into a long story, that I'd worked a few times with Ronnie Barker on small shows, and where I got to know him was halfway through one of his series, which was called Hark Up Barker. He asked me if I would play the 100-year-old gardener, which I did as the gardener, which I did. And from that moment, Ronnie and I got on so well that when Open All Hours came along, he asked me if I would consider playing Granville. Of course, I leapt at it because I was such a fan of Ronnie's. And what that did, you're quite right, suddenly I was working with Ronnie all the time, and I sort of got recognised for that.
It was glorious. I loved it. It was such a great show. It's so well written. Do you know what it was really touching relationship between the two of you, I always used to think.
Yeah. I was really, really very lucky because Ronnie was such a lovely, clever man, but also he was very generous, completely generous. he would help me, he would give me little bits of business to do, and no, it's all he missed.
And the show's coming back.
Yes. Some time ago, the head of BBC got hold of me and said, is there something that you wanted to do? And I couldn't think of anything offhand. And then I suddenly went, I often wondered whatever happened to Granville. You know, when Arkwright, bless him, has now gone to the big grocery shop in the sky. And we thought, well, yeah, maybe he took over the shop. So I got in touch with Roy Clark, who originally wrote it, and said, what do you think? And he said, oh, I love the idea. So Roy Clark put pen to paper, and we've just finished filming in Manchester, and it's to come out Boxing Day.
Do you take over Ronnie Barker's role with Linda Barron? You know, you flirting with the customers?
Oh. No, heaven forbid.
I was going to say, because he wasn't like that.
No, well, not with Nurse Gladys.
No.
Oh, dear, heaven forbid. No, that's Arkwright's territory. No, my character now has a desperate attempt with Wavy Mavey. But, Wavy Mavey.
Where do these names come from?
Well, it's Roy Clark. We got the Black Widow, played by Stephanie Cole. Well, you know,
fabulous.
We've got Wet Eric. Wet Eric, I tell you, he's called Wet Eric because he's so depressing about the weather all the time. But apparently he has this knee that I said to him, what's happening, Eric? He said, it's coming, it's bad. So I said, well, it's my knee is telling me. He said, what does it talk to you? He said, no, I can feel it, I feel it. So I said to him, I've got this idea, I'll have you on a weather chart with your talking knee in the background. So we've got these very strange, wonderful characters that Roy Clark has invented. They're all mad.
They're great, but this is lovely. There's this little world at the corner of that street in that shop of these characters and their relationship with each other. It's just what... And he writes so beautifully, Roy Clark. He's quite gentle, isn't he? It's very gentle humour.
Yeah, I think that you're quite right. Now, one of the things that people have said to me, and I think obviously has got a nice reaction from your audience, is that there seems to be lacking a bit at the moment. We got a lot of quite aggressive sort of humour, if you like, quite modern humour, quite a strong language humour. What we seem to be lacking is some of that more gentle type humour. I tell you what it is, it's cheeky humour, it's postcard humour, and it's a clever use of words, well, innuendo, if you like. One of the things that Ronnie used to do, and which always used to amuse me when Nurse Gladys came in, Nurse Gladys used to come in, who is rather well endowed, I must say, and he used to say, here she is, Nurse Gladys. How are you both?
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please, for Sir David Jason. Come on.
Thank you.
And I tell you something now.
Thank you.
You want a good read about a great career? Then this is the book for you over Christmas. I'm telling you, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Once again, come on, give this...
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, look...